So hi and welcome to this video. So today I'm basically going to be talking through kind of one of the questions that a lot of people ask, and I know it was definitely a question that I asked when I was kind of getting into detailing and things like that, and that is, are snow foam cannons and snow foams actually worth it? Do you need them and do they make much of a difference? So obviously, you know, when you're cleaning your car, a lot of people are kind of worried about particularly the price. I know I am. I don't want to spend loads cleaning my car, although I do kind of a little bit of addiction to buying detailing products. I do obviously want to buy things that are actually necessary, and particularly if you are getting into this a little bit more, then you'll see snow foams and you might wonder whether paying sort of £30 on a cannon, another £20 on a snow foam is actually worth it, and whether you should buy one. So in this video I'm basically just going to be taking you through kind of the pros and cons of snow foaming, and kind of my recommendation whether you should use one or not. So I'm first just going to really kind of explain why you would actually use a snow foam, kind of what the point of them is. So you might know a little bit of this already, but kind of basics of snow foaming is to actually pre-wash your car, to basically remove as much dirt as possible before you go ahead and contact wash the car using your wash mitt. So obviously you'll probably know this already, but your clear coat on your car is very, very delicate and it scratches and swirls very easily and you can cause damage to the paint, and one of the main ways of doing this is when you're washing the car. So obviously using things like sponges and brushes are a complete no, and they're definitely going to scratch your car, but also the dirt itself when you clean it is abrasive, so every time you kind of wipe your panel with your wash mitt you are sort of potentially causing scratches, particularly if you're not kind of using enough car shampoo and water, or you're not using a very good quality shampoo. Then definitely there is that risk of causing scratches. Dirt is abrasive, dust is as well. A lot of people don't know, but dust is very abrasive as well, and basically can cause these scratches and swirl marks. So effectively kind of one of the ways of tackling this is to pre-wash the car. So that obviously starts with rinsing down the car thoroughly. You can remove a lot of the dirt by doing this, a lot of the kind of visible dirt on the car, but you're generally going to get left with this kind of traffic film. So that's kind of the mud that won't really get jet washed off, and that's kind of not really visible. It's just sort of that film over the car that makes it look dull. That's kind of what traffic film is. And basically obviously you can go ahead and you can use a wash mitt to actually sort of wipe that off, but again you're kind of running this risk of causing scratches. So one of the ways to do this, to kind of combat this, is to snow foam the car. So that is a pre-wash method that basically involves covering your car in, it's basically surfactants and things that are going to really break down that dirt and that traffic film. So they sit on the car, kind of work without you touching them, and then they get jet washed off, and then after that you should hopefully be left with a fairly clean surface. There's probably going to be still some kind of traffic film on there, but it definitely won't be as thick, and basically it's just going to make the wash process safer. There's going to be less risk of causing those scratches and swirl marks. So obviously to kind of demonstrate this, before I kind of talk about it a little bit more, I wanted to put in some kind of videos and basically show you a sort of before and after of snow foaming, some pictures, and basically take you through what snow foaming actually is going to do and how it's kind of going to clean that paintwork and the effect and whether it does actually make a difference or not. So I'm going to jump in now to the video clips of that. But just a quick reminder, if you aren't subscribed already, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm making videos like this all the time with product recommendations, vehicle transformations, and kind of tips on cleaning your car. So if you're interested in that, then be sure to hit the subscribe button. So here you can actually see what the car looks like beforehand. So this car has actually been rinsed. It's obviously not been washed properly yet, but as you can see there's quite a lot of dust and dirt really on the car. It is quite dirty. So here you can just really see me applying the snow foam. So it was quite a windy day, it's got most of it on the camera, but you can see just really kind of trying to coat it as much as possible, getting the wheels and the wheel arches as well, as that's really a place where the dirt can build up and snow foams work really well here. So let that dwell for just a couple of minutes before power washing it off. Obviously the pressure helps really kind of remove that dirt. It's kind of more effective than just hosing it off, pressure washer will work. So here you can actually sort of see really what the car looks like beforehand. You can see obviously that dust and that dirt, and then here is the shot of it afterwards. So the vast majority of that traffic film is actually removed, and what you're seeing really is mainly just watermarks. Obviously it does require a contact wash to clean it thoroughly, but generally you can see that it has done a pretty good job at removing this traffic film. So in terms of whether it is actually necessary, it really depends sort of primarily on how interested you are in the kind of condition of your car. if you are watching this video, then chances are you obviously don't really want your cars to get scratches and swirl marks. Either it has them already, you don't want to get more, or you've got a new car and you really want to avoid them. Basically, if you are interested at all in how the car looks and you want to make it shinier and you want to avoid these scratches and swirl marks, then you should use a snow foam. I don't ever wash my car without doing that, even when it's not particularly dirty. I just don't risk it. I don't want to have to polish. I've had to actually polish and compound the plane previously, basically because when I got it from the dealership, I don't know what they did. It looks like they washed it with probably the grittiest sponge imaginable. Basically, it was absolutely horrendous. The paint was completely swirled and scratched, and I had to correct that paint using quite an aggressive compound to actually do that. So for me, I don't want to have to do that again. So I'm really, really careful when I'm actually washing the car, just to make sure that I'm not kind of causing any of these scratches and swirl marks myself, which it is quite easy to do, particularly if you've got softer paint on your car. So if you are interested in that, then I definitely think that snow foams are worth it. But the car, kind of a couple of caveats to that. In terms of whether it's actually necessary, really going to depend on what product you're actually using. So it's less about the foam cannon. Now, I get pretty good results using just the really cheap Karcher snow foam cannon, and a lot of people out there probably really cringe at that and think it's terrible, but I use that the vast majority of the time, and I find that it actually works really well. It's not really the thickness of the foam that I'm bothered about, but it's the actual cleaning power of the snow foam you're using. So you might see some snow foams out there that produce this really, really thick blanket of foam, and it looks really cool, but sometimes that doesn't actually do a lot. It's really the cleaning power that you're bothered about, so kind of don't be fooled into thinking that the thickness of the foam is what matters. It's really kind of that cleaning power and that ability to sort of break down that traffic film on your car. So it really depends on what snow foam you're getting. I will leave a link in the description to my recommendation. So I use Built Hamber Autofoam partly because it has such good cleaning power, and basically I'll leave a link in the description. I'll leave a card on screen to a review of that. It's just going to kind of explain why I like that product and why I think it's better than the vast majority of snow foams on the market. If you sort of buying a really low quality snow foam, one that doesn't have good cleaning power and just basically makes really good kind of thick foam, then in my opinion snow foaming is useless in that scenario. It looks cool, but if it doesn't clean, then there's no point. So really, if you want to purchase snow foam, then you need to make sure you purchase the right one. So I'll leave a link to that review of Built Hamber Autofoam if you are interested in checking that out. Also, obviously a little bit sort of as well, whether it's necessary snow foaming depends on how much you actually want to spend washing your car. So generally it will depend on what snow foam you're using. So normally to snow foam an entire car, it would probably cost between 50p and £1 to actually snow foam the car. So around $1 if you work if you're in the US. So again, obviously that's adding that additional cost. You've got your car shampoo, you've got your wash mitts and your buckets and things like that cost everything. And then obviously you've got to pay for your snow foam as well. So that might be a little bit of thing to think about. Personally, it costs me 50p to snow foam my car every time I do it using that product. So to me that's worth it. It's a lot cheaper than sort of having to polish it again, maybe taking it to professional detailer and things like that. So if you're using it as prevention for swirls and scratches, then definitely I do think snow foams are worth the cost, even though they do add that little bit extra kind of price to washing your car. So thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed, and it's kind of given you a little bit more of an indication of whether snow foams are worth it and whether you should use one or not. Of course, my recommendation is that you should. I think they're really important, really great way to kind of reduce the risk of scratches and swirl marks when you're washing your car. But again, I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, then be sure to hit the like button, comment down below if you've got any questions about the topic, about the products I use, or any kind of information about the techniques. As well, if you are kind of getting into detailing and you want to learn more about the snow foam process, then I will leave a link in the description to my website, and that basically takes you through everything you could possibly want to know about snow foams, how to use them, why you would want to use them, and things like that. So I'll leave a link in the description to that. But again, thanks very much for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you next time.